We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's Rebirthing Program, as well as Jamila Sense, and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to a wonderful, wonderful version of Great Lives on the Rise. We're so happy to have you here again on this wonderful Sunday evening, or whatever time it is in your time zone and country. We're just happy to have you with us again. We have an exciting guest tonight, Miss Linda Pitsoulis, like the soul. And she has a beautiful soul. So we're going to get to her in a few minutes and talk about her wonderful journey on this planet called Earth. We are really, really happy to have you here. Before we get into the podcast, what I do is I give people information about how we got started. We're now going on to our 105th episode with Linda. And I am so excited about that because about 3 years ago, we were at the beginning of this wonderful journey. And it just came to me as an epiphany, a download from Spirit. And basically it said, okay, you need to have a podcast that talks about issues that are relevant to people in your demographic, 50 plus, because people are not really giving a lot of attention to that particular demographic positively. They make disparaging remarks. When you're 49, everything is cool. When you turn 50, then all of a sudden you're a relic. So I said, okay. And then the whole thing came to me in terms of the name, because it's a movement. So the first name that I came up with was Gray Lives Matter. And I said, no, that's pretty cliche-ish. And then Gray Lives on the Rise came to me. I said, yay, that's wonderful. I liked it because lives rhymes with rise, and we're on the upswing. We're not going down. And then another thing that came to me was, okay, you need to set up new adjectives to describe who you are. You're not over the hill. You're not elderly. You are alive, mature, golden, seasoned, and vibrant. I said, okay, I like that. And then another thing that came to me was, you need to have a steward, like what I have on. Gray Lives on the Rise, paraphernalia, t-shirts, hoodies, totes, floor mats, journals. We have them all in our wonderful store. And Linda has purchased something from our wonderful store. So I said, yeah. And then the last thing was, oh, it got there. Gray Lives on the Rise t-shirt. Yay!
I had already ironed my top, so I'm not going to wear it today.
Oh, no. We were wondering if it would make it in time for the broadcast. So we have that. And so, like I said, we're a movement. And I've talked to people on my broadcasts from all around the world. We're global. We are multinational, multi-ethnic, men and women. And we are just really, really on the rise. And so I'm very, very happy and pleased about that. And the other thing is that I was talking to people from around the world. Serbia, we've had guests speakers from Serbia, from the UK, from Australia, from Canada, New Zealand, the Netherlands, Jamaica, Philippines, Haiti, Costa Rica, United Arab Emirates, and of course, America. I may have left out one or two names, but you get the gist. So we are very, very well known, and we're going into our third season, and we're so happy for that. So the other thing is that I have to do is give information about my companies. Jamila Sense is my aromatherapy company, and I don't have one of my bottles up here, but it's amazing. Peace Be Still is my #1 seller, and everything I do, I create myself. And it is excellent for depression, for anxiety, for menopausal issues, for flies and mosquitoes. They won't come near you. For any stressor, it's amazing. And it's all natural. It's made with lavender, geranium, and lemongrass. So Jamila Sense pays for my podcast. So of course I have to give that little company recognition. And we are so happy to have you here this evening. And when you go to our website, which is Oyinde Enterprises, Oyinde Enterprises, enterprises.com, you will see Jamila Sense, you will see my whole institute that I have, and you will see Great Lives on the Rise, which is our latest baby. You click on that and you will see the overview for everything regarding Great Lives on the Rise. And we hope that you will be interested in becoming a guest speaker. All you need to do is read the information, submit the form, and we will have a discovery call to see if you will be interested in being a speaker. So, having said all that, and I am a college professor, certified Reiki master, certified aromatherapist, a certified metaphysician, a published author, an award-winning published author, and some other things. You can go on my website to find out all those things. But today we're here to talk about Linda Pitsoulis. So I'm going to give you her background information. Linda Pitsoulis, a first-generation Greek-American entrepreneur, author, disability advocate, and founder of a Private Ministerial Association and a wellness center. Linda's life has taken her through profound loss, caregiving, chronic illness and disability, civil rights advocacy, and decades of exploring consciousness, spirituality, and our innate capacity for healing. She became the claimant in a landmark disability discrimination case and co-authored Grown Women S.H.I.T, Shifting How I Think. Then at age 62, after nearly 3 decades outside the traditional workforce, Linda took an extraordinary leap and founded Agape in Practice, a Private Ministerial Association, and Synergy in Action, EESystem Atlanta, a wellness center. Linda Pitsoulis knows something about reinvention. A first-generation Greek-American entrepreneur, author, and advocate, Linda has lived many chapters from a childhood immersed in New York's close-knit Cretan community to careers in sales, marketing, management, and education, from advocating for aging parents to becoming the claimant in a landmark disability discrimination case, and co-authoring Grown Women S.H.I.T, Shifting How I Think. But one of her boldest chapters began in her 60s. At 62 years old, after nearly 3 decades outside the traditional workforce, Linda made a substantial entrepreneurial leap, founding Agape in Practice and Synergy in Action, EESystem Atlanta. Today, she continues to study, create, build community, explore consciousness, and human potential, and ask what else might be possible, not despite her age, but with the perspective that decades of living have given her. Linda believes that every chapter of our lives contributes to the next, that we create ripples far beyond what we may ever see, and that living fully means remaining willing to grow, question, reinvent, and respond to what calls us forward. Her story challenges a familiar assumption about aging. What if getting older isn't about becoming less, but finally having enough life behind us to become more intentional about what we do with the life ahead? Excellent, excellent question. So, without further ado, we're going to bring on Linda. Greetings, Linda. How are
So
you?
much. Thank you, Professor. Thank you so much. I appreciate and honored to be on your show. This is
Yeah,
great.
we're very pleased and honored to have you here on our show. And we're going to get into some really deep, deep conversations and explore some wonderful things and have our audience know more about you. Okay. So, Linda, after having read your wonderful, illustrious background, let's really get into who Linda is, because we know that you're first generation Greek American and your family immigrated from Greece and you grew up in New York City, I'm assuming.
Hmm.
So, yeah. What was life like with Linda in terms of what were the things that you were interested in as a child that kind of led you to where you are today? What were some of the interests? Because usually what happens is people have an earlier interest and sometimes they don't pursue it, but then later on in life, they pick that back up. So what were the qualities that you had as a child that led you to the path of advocacy and compassion? Because everything in your background reflects compassion for humanity.
Yeah, yeah. Great question. Loaded question. Uh, being raised by immigrant parents, uh, they landed in Ellis Island individually. They didn't come together. And naturally, they resonated and interacted with the Greek community. So one of the biggest things and the definitely common thread from childhood till now and what I really want to, nurture at the center and in whatever I'm doing is community. Because the close-knit community, uh, back then, all the Greeks got together because they didn't know the language, first of all,
Mhm.
but also to maintain their culture, and to feel a sense of belonging. They had a very difficult time assimilating. Um, and I have to say the community aspect of it really was a thread throughout my childhood because one of the things that did take place that landed me with what I'm doing is that my brother, when I was 8 years old, he had cancer
Mm.
and passed away at 9 and a half. That Greek community stood behind my parents in ways that, who would have imagined? I don't personally remember it, but one of my friends, a childhood friend, actually said, "Well, I remember your family because my parents donated blood for your brother." The Greek community, or the Cretan, especially the Cretan community, rallied together and they were donating blood all over the country because it was a national Cretan association for my brother, on behalf and honor of. Uh, that's the type of community I grew up in. Uh, and that, and the fact that, he passed away from cancer, uh, led me along a trajectory of childhood that, I was very empathetic and compassionate towards my parents. Uh, I have always had a special place in my heart for any parent that loses a child because I was witness to that, and for siblings that lose, siblings. Uh, so the compassion's all over the place in my life. Uh, and that you tie it all together. Uh, and now I have a wellness center where I service all different types of people at different levels and stages, stages of development and states of consciousness. My parents, they came from Greece. They only had a fourth and fifth grade childhood education. So they didn't know anything about psychology or taking a kid to a psychologist or therapist to get through things. Uh, they barely knew the language. Uh, so I want to be of service. I want to be of value to people when they're facing trying times or when they're aspiring for things that sometimes we have limiting beliefs from childhood that we don't think we could ever do something like that, but we can. Because for me to have overcome a lot of what I overcame, uh, it took a lot of perseverance and determination. Because what I was not, what I was not was of, even though I came from a culture that really their aspiration was to have kids, get married, have kids. I knew from a young age I wasn't going to get married and I wasn't going to have kids. I love kids, but I wasn't going to do it. So I was kind of like a rebel from the, not that I did it intentionally, it just was what it was. So I forged my own way, and I don't know very many Greek American uh, gals that went about it the way I went. Uh, but I do honor and love my heritage, my ancestors, and I want people coming into my center to feel that uh, there's a Greek word called philoxenia, uh, friendship and welcome, like you're part of my family. So come into my come into my center, come into my so that's what we create at Agape in Practice, Synergy in Action.
Well, well, your background really served you well in terms of being able to come up with this phenomenal center and concept to sponsor or to help people who are going through very challenging times, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and which also impacts or affects the finances. So that I commend you for having the insight as a child to know that even though you were not going to give birth to physical children, you still desire to help, to reach out and to support and mentor others. Because, everyone doesn't have to be a biological parent in order to be a spiritual parent. It seems like that's what you've done through the different stages of your life. And I saw that you are a disability advocate and that you have other stages of advocacy. So let's talk about that, how that came about.
Sure. And let me, I do want to clarify that the center is really for anyone, even if they're not in the midst of, like any kind of dilemmas, because it just
Mhm.
enhances, living. And the EE system stands for energy enhancement. But
Mhm.
uh, with the disability advocacy and other advocacy, well, uh, it almost happened simultaneously. Uh, my parents got sick. My dad got sick at first. He had a quadruple bypass and he suffered a stroke while in the hospital. While he was in the hospital, uh, my mom started like getting, there was something going on. And she was an insulin dependent diabetic. So I started going to the doctors with her to see what was going on. Maybe it was that. Well, it was that. She was either taking too much insulin or not enough because she was in the stages of dementia, about Alzheimer's. And unbeknownst to us, my dad was helping her. So I was advocating for them. And it was all coming down at a time that I had had all kinds of symptoms that my doctor suggested that I go take some time off at first. Take some time off. Let's see how this goes. Well, that didn't last because, I mean, it lasted. I had to take time off because it got worse. Stress is like
Oh
the,
yeah.
it'll do a job on you, right?
Oh yeah.
Uh, 90% of doctor's office visits, the root cause is stress. So,
Yes.
so that's what happened with me, and that taking a break turned into short-term disability and then long-term disability. Um, and because I wasn't like I was doing the hands-on caregiving with my parents, I ended up getting them home attendants and things like that, got them approved for Medicaid, a whole bunch of stuff. But I formed disability support groups. Uh, I assisted, well, I spoke with the different Greek communities in New York because when I was wanting to tap into services for my parents, especially with Alzheimer's. My dad had dementia from the stroke. There were no daycare programs to send them to, and I didn't want my parents at home sitting idle and not being able to interact with other people. So I
Mhm.
teamed up with Catholic Charities and we filled it with Greek participants. And I had somewhere to send my parents. They would speak their own language.
Mhm.
So it was things like that, and the Alzheimer's Association, uh, and I've become a foster parent, so I advocate for children, especially those with special needs, uh, autism, and yeah, it's never ending. It's never ending. There's so much to do. There's so much to do when you're not working.
That's very, it's very, very true. Very true. So you had the opportunity to be the caregiver for both your parents who were experiencing dementia related to health issues. It wasn't anything that was foreseeable. But your father had the stroke, which advanced dementia. Your mom had the episode with insulin, diabetes, and the wrong dosage was the reason for her uh, dementia. So that I know that was really, really trying. As you said, you had to take a break from all of it in terms of your career. You were able to take time off. So in taking that time off, what came to you in terms of your reflection about life?
Initially, it was very difficult. I'll be honest with you, when I went out on disability, uh, because we're raised with the whole concept that, you know, you want to be a contributing member of society, right? Uh, and here, really, the carpet got pulled out from under my feet. I,
Yeah.
I lost my career. I ended up losing a relationship. My parents' health and everything. Family dynamics were totally reversed. My parents were my kids. I was their parent. Uh, so initially what I walked away with is there needs to be more community-based services, especially for minorities, uh,
Mhm.
because culture plays a very large, and socialization is a very big role for people. Um, that and trying to maintain it for myself. I would come back
Mhm.
to Georgia. I moved back to New York to help, oversee my parents' care. So I would come back to Georgia to mingle with my friends, once every 6 months is what I was doing. Uh, Fast forward though, what I also walked away from it was my parents are from a culture that when someone dies, the women will wear black the rest of their lives.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how it was in the old country. And the men would wear a black band around their arms. Uh, Whereas I've realized over time that death isn't final. uh, and leading to death is not something to fear.
Exactly.
Uh, and that's why I really admire what you're doing and your movement
Mm.
because and through the center I opened, I've met so many people like yourself that's total contrary to what I was brought up with, right? When
Mhm.
what I was brought up with was, you live with sickness. That's all there is to it. Like, I mean, you just take it. Uh, in the old country, yes, they had herbs and stuff, but when they came to America, they ended up assimilating a little too much and getting into this big pharma thing. And my mom was on all kinds of medications, because she had pancreatitis and high blood pressure and things like that. But fast forward when I woke up and I saw that there was a whole other world of there is the ability to change the trajectory of your health and your life. It turned everything totally different. And I wanted to shout it from the rooftops like, oh my gosh, there's hope. It's not all downhill. Uh, I mean, I've met people in their 70s, 80s, 90s that, heck, I want to be just like them when I grow up. And
Yeah.
that's what I want people to realize. And, we've got to release the hang-ups, the limiting beliefs, the habits. There's so much. I mean, I'm still a work in progress. I don't think we ever finish being a work in progress. And I've got a lot of stuff because I myself, the degree of this different diagnoses that I had, they're pretty like holistic, neck issues, back issues, all kinds of things, degenerative disc disease, all kinds of stuff. Uh, so, when I heard about the energy enhancement system technology, I was like, this is it. This is the glue that holds all the pieces together of the puzzle that I saw as I was learning different things. I was like,
Mhm.
I've got to bring it to Atlanta. And that's what I did.
Mhm. Mhm. Let's talk about this wonderful system because I'm familiar with it and I'm going to have my experience with it with the lovely Linda tomorrow. But other people whom I know have experienced it. So let's talk about the origin of the system, how it came about, its purpose, the targeted population, and all of that.
Okay. All right. So the technology that I have at my wellness center is called the Energy Enhancement System, which I found out about it during a interview with the founder. And that video went viral. And over 500, 600 centers have opened up globally within the last 4 years.
Wow.
Uh, because when we saw it, like, individually and collectively, those of us that ordered it right away, I was among the first 100. It was like something I know for a fact in me, it was my soul jumping up and down that I had to do it. And that's what made me do it. It wasn't until after I placed the deposit, I said, what the heck were you thinking? You don't have to run a business. You're 62 years old. What are you thinking? I was like, at that point, I went to a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat to clear whatever limiting beliefs were coming up. Okay. So I went to that, cleared those, and then the rubber hit the metal, the roads. Uh, but the energy enhancement system gets installed in a room and changes, you're not hooked up to anything. It changes the energy field or vortex in the room to where you're not getting hit by 4G and 5G and radiation and all those detrimental things that are, messing with us. So you go in that room, any living thing, animals, people, plants, you go in that room and automatically the body will go into healing mode. The
Mm-hmm.
body, the creator created the body with the ability to heal itself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Cut your hand, it's going to heal. You're not telling it what to do. It just happens. So you have to give the body what it needs.
Mm-hmm.
And now, where did this thing come from? Well, this woman, her name is Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. She was born to Mensa parents. Both parents were really smart. That's like beyond the high IQ. And they were both top secret government workers. Her mother was working on a nuclear bomb while she was pregnant with her, and her dad was every kind of engineer a person could be. Uh, she grew up on a farm, and she came out of the womb basically saying, "How can we heal the world?" As a child, I mean, she was doing these scientific little experiments and things, taking apart Geiger counters, putting them back together,
Mm,
thinking that that's a natural childhood. Not natural in my world. But scientific parents, and yet she had the innate ability, like we all do, but we just don't know it or
mm,
practice it or remember it. She
mm,
was able to heal the animals. So she
mm,
was seeing things in such a way that combined with the engineering background and the science, and she created a one person at a time system. She went on to like chiropractic school and all kinds of different studies that she did. And she had her own little wellness center and she was healing a lot of people. But she wasn't going to heal the world one person at a time. And then she created this system that could be installed in whatever size room and it will affect all the people. So the advice to anybody that may want to start a center is get as big a room as you could afford, install the equipment so that the more people, you could fit more people so that we could heal the masses.
mm,
And it's not just physiological healing, but spiritual, emotional, all all around the whole person, mind, body, spirit.
mhm.
And that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it.
That's amazing. How long ago did she create this system?
She created over 20 years ago. But
Hmm.
up until 4 years ago, approximately 4 years ago, it was mostly 90% of the systems were installed in affluent households. Affluent, it's expensive, but also high-ranking military personnel, because the military picked up on a signal, sent an investigative team, and ended up researching it. And that's how the NASA actually tested it to see how far from the location does it transmute the energy, convert it from detrimental to beneficial. And
Hmm.
they measured uh, a smaller system than what I have, and they measured 2.25 miles. So
Wow.
stop and think about it. A system smaller than mine covers a radius of 2.25 miles. Now we have Starbucks and McDonald's every 2 or 3 miles, right? What if we were to create enough demand to justify a center or a household unit to be placed every 2 or 3 miles? What would we be creating?
Mm,
We would be creating an umbrella over
exactly.
entire neighborhoods, entire cities, entire states. That is the ultimate goal, the ultimate. In the meantime, we need to, create enough awareness and demand to sustain those centers that have opened up in order for more to open.
Mm. This is amazing. And just for clarification for the audience, you are not making any medical claims. You're just talking strictly in terms of energy. So I don't want people to say, oh, I saw this lovely lady and she said that her machine can cure or whatever, because people would tend to misconstrue. We're basically talking at the energetic level because all of us uh, comprised of energy. Our cells, if you break anything down, you would see just little uh, energetic impulses going back and forth. We're not the solid mass that you see. We're energetic impulses that have been congealed. So that's what she's talking about. The machine deals with the energy within your body. And it helps transform whatever's going on with your body to bring it to the frequency of health and whatever else is going on with you. So she's not saying that it heals, she's saying that it's changing the frequency to that of health. So it's
Well,
not.
it's changing the frequency in the room, not
Mhm.
your body. Your body then responds to the
Okay.
frequency within the room. So
Okay.
that removes even further that There is no claim that the equipment's doing anything to you. Now, your body, it's just like when you go into well, when you used to go into, because I haven't gone either, you used to go into a club and you've got all the music frequency and everybody bebop and moving with the music. You automatically start bebopping with them, right? You take
Mhm.
on the frequency of the room within which you enter. We
Right.
also have had the experience. We walk into a room that's dead silent. We're like, the energy in here is really thick. Somebody just had a fight, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and it depresses your energy. So that's what's happening in the energy enhancement system centers in the session room that you walk in there and some people say it feels like somebody's just cradling them, like
Mhm.
God. People actually say God or whatever
Mhm.
people call their higher power. The peace, it feels also, the developer says it's the closest thing you could come to a natural rainforest. She also
Mhm.
says it's the closest thing that you could come to God's love. And I call it agape. Love in Greek is agape, and it has a bigger, more infinite definition, and therefore the name
Mhm.
of my, ministerial association, Agape in Practice.
Oh, okay. Okay. In this country, uh, so I mispronounce it. In this country, it's pronounced agape, but you're pronouncing agape.
Yeah, it's agape. The G is a
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's
It's kind
very
of like
interesting.
gyro, gyro and euro.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's very, very interesting. So it's changing the frequency within the room, and therefore you're affected in a positive way because the energy is completely immersing the entire room space. So when you walk into it, like you were using the analogy, in terms of when you go into certain environments, you can feel the heaviness. When you walk into the space that has been infused with the EE system, you can feel the shift. You can feel it, and it's
yeah,
not directly focusing on you. It's focusing on the entire environment. 2.5 miles outside of the building. So people, animals, whatever, everything within that radius is affected positively. That's wonderful.
exactly.
That's
And of course,
wonderful.
in the room is more concentrated because
Right.
the entire configuration of the system is in the room. The
Mhm.
part that is expanding and going beyond to the 2.25 miles is the scalar waves, which that gets
Mhm.
into science and quantum physics and things like that. Uh, but within the room, there are a lot of other frequencies that people are like either familiar with or, like, but that are measurable. Like when you go to YouTube and you look for frequency music and you're looking, some people
Mhm.
know them by heart. That's frequency that's measurable. Quantum scalar is not measurable. That's
Mhm.
what makes the biggest difference, and it goes beyond the central walls.
Wow. Oh. So that's amazing. What demographic do you serve?
Listen, any enterprise is going to seek the lowest hanging fruit, right?
Mhm.
So effectively, the marketing had been primarily focused on like symptomatic relief, people that are dealing with things that they would like to be liberated of. Uh, and yet, so many people have come through the doors. And that is a big dilemma. Uh, like in terms of when you turn around and hire people to do marketing. Uh, the people like yourself that are active, uh, that are 20, 30, 40 years younger than their biological age because they've taken care of themselves, they resonate because they know exactly what you were talking to me about. You just described it because you know what you know.
Mhm.
And the logic and the that we are energetic beings that and conventional medicine admits it. That's why they do EKGs and EEGs. They're measuring the electrical current within certain organs. They
Mhm.
just don't use it for treating people. So this is a way to use that knowledge and to learn more about it. You know, we're in the education field here to just let people know because my parents wouldn't even be able to grasp the beginning of this. You know, like I mean, no way, no way. Uh, but a lot of people and people of higher consciousness and higher stages of development, you know, because I've studied a lot about human development and the evolution of humanity and the evolution of cultures and such, uh, resonate with it. And this is the lazy man's meditation place to go. You know how a
Oh,
lot of people want to calm their nervous system down, but I
oh,
just can't meditate and my mind won't stop. You come to a EE System Center within the first 10 minutes, and it's been researched, the right and left hemisphere of the brain goes into coherence. It'll automatically calm you down. And if you
mhm,
could give in, your body will take you on a brainwave state journey.
mhm,
Now, we go through different brainwave states during the night. The
mhm,
most healing is delta. Well, people go into delta. People go into these states like that monks go into, and monks meditate for, you know, like almost 24 hours a day, right? But you could get into that state of meditation within 10 minutes if you just give into it. And that's
yeah.
why people love meditating in my in the centers because they could go even deeper still. Yeah.
So, is there an age limit? Can people bring babies, infants,
Yeah, I love that
all
you
the way
brought
up
up infants.
to
Anytime during pregnancy, it's recommended during pregnancy. There's no age limit, no contraindications. They have been finding toxicity in the embryonic fluid.
Mhm,
Now think about that. Think about that. Our generation wasn't exposed to the amount of toxicity that we're exposed to now. So
mhm,
a woman's pregnant now, she if she could come before she gets pregnant and do at least 2, 3, 4 months to try to reset her body because literally the body will pull the toxins out from the cells to get rid of them. And it takes a minute because that's where the body's stashing them because it doesn't have time enough to filter them through the kidney and liver. So
mhm,
a couple, before they get pregnant, start coming to the centers, clean out. You'll be doing your child a favor that you won't have as many toxins in the embryonic fluid. That's why these generations are exposed to more and more, and we really need to offset the effects of that. That's why we have so many diseases and things. We've got to
mhm.
offset.
Yeah. I think that this would be really, really instrumental in some of the learning disabilities like ADD, ADHD, and all those others. Because you're dealing with it at the root level, a lot of times people just give children and others medication, and that does nothing. It just masks the symptoms. It doesn't heal at
Mhm.
the core. And so, what you're saying now for children, because you and I had talked about this, children who have learning disabilities would be positively affected by this. Have you known of any empirical studies, any data that shows a correlation between people going to an EE system and seeing market improvements on any level?
Oh, yeah. There are studies, and they could be found on the main website. I have a link on my website that goes to the main website. Uh, but at eesystem.com, there's a research section. And as a matter of fact, it was a doctor that he didn't open a center, but he installed, I don't know how many units, what size equipment in his facility. And he did a study on a child that was suffering, I don't know how many grand mal seizures a day. And the and he was worried because he was like his license, right? Because how much time can I let her, be in there? He was nervous. And she's like, no matter how much time, the more the better. But that child ended up like down to very few a day compared to what was going on. So he, wrote a study on it, like he documented it. But there are a lot of other studies as well. Like there's another center owner, which he's not really a center owner, he's an investor in a center. He suffered 2 or 3 strokes back to back. And he was a sound bowl practitioner. And Dr. Michael knew of him and reached out. She found out that, because he was doing tours all over the country, and she invited him to come to her place. In her house, she has equipment, and she invited him. And within a few hours, he was getting up and using the walker,
Oh,
like by himself, whereas he was being escorted otherwise. But there's a lot of examples like that, a lot of testimonials. There is research
mm,
on, like I said, uh, I don't like getting into all the science. I'm not like,
mm,
as far as I'm concerned, it's nothing short of miraculous. And
mm,
the only way, I could talk until I'm blue in the face. The only way to know for yourself is to go ahead and invest whatever under $100 to go experience 2 hours.
mm.
What have you got to lose? You could spend that like in a heartbeat, taking your grandkid somewhere. You know what I'm
No, yeah,
saying?
no, it's true. I think that what we need to do, particularly for the 50 plus generation, we have seen more years behind us than we will see in front of us. So some of us may not see another 50 years. If you're 50, or if you're older than 50, you may not see another 60 years. You have 60 years behind you. Very few will see 60 more years in front of them. So I think the quality of life is very important. And I think
Exactly.
what you are stating and giving excellent examples about are chances for people to improve the quality of life for the number of years that we have remaining, because we don't have to be sick. We don't have to be ill. We don't have to have a lot of the challenges that people are now experiencing for lack of knowledge. So then at this point, let's get into how people can find out about the center, how they can contact you, how they can come to visit and have a session, and all of that.
Sure, sure. No, I thank you for bringing that up because that is something that I got from the whole experience with my parents. They worked all those years and they really didn't get a chance to enjoy their retirement.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's not okay. Um, so exactly, quality of life matters. Quality of life matters. Yeah, to get in touch, I try to make everything really simple. I either use videos, I send you a video how to find my suite in the complex that we're in, or so in this case I created, or a dear person in my life created a landing page. So I'm going to give you the landing page and you could go to it, get ready to write it down. Uh, Whether you're in Atlanta and you want to come to my center to experience it, I'm going to give you $50 off, and that leaves you with maybe $60 to experience 2 hours. If you're not in Atlanta, you could find a center near you. If you are interested in different scalar infused products that we have in person at the center, you could, I'll have the link that you could go to eesystem.com to get it from them. And then where to connect on social media, if you want to open a center. I got all the links at one center, yeah, at one at one website. So what it is EE for energy enhancement, EE system, just one system, not plural. EE system Atlanta spelled out .org/podcast. So it's EE system, just
Okay,
one.
spell it all out for us.
Okay. EE SYSTEM Atlanta, ATLANTA.org/podcast, PODCAST, EESystem Atlanta.org/podcast.
Okay. And, and that's the landing page that people can click on and find out everything that we are discussing.
Yeah. And, how to stay in touch with me if you want to. I have my social media links there. I have the EESystem Atlanta social media links. We'll have like a link to testimonials. So this way it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So people can click on that and it takes them to different things connected to your system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And me and, you know, uh, getting on our newsletter will be helpful. And that's, on our, one of the links and stuff. Because as things are unfolding, we're going to be expanding more and more because, like I said, the lowest hanging fruit were those with, like symptoms. I want people of all age groups, of all levels of wellness to just come because if you're right here, man, you could astro travel, okay? I
Mhm.
everyone to rise up. Let's create the current of rising up, right? We want all lives to rise,
Mhm.
not just
Mhm.
great lives. Yeah.
Mhm. I think I think that's wonderful, but because people who are 50 plus are becoming more more aware of these different modalities and all the advancements that are non-allopathic, because what has been the case is people have been kind of pushed into the allopathic world. And I think that's fine. I think that's fine. But now we have some other options for those who are looking for things that are more holistic and for those things that are not intrusive. With your system, which is amazing and wonderful, you don't have to take any medicine, you don't have to take any pills, because people are somewhat leery about taking things internally. And I can understand why, but with your system's straight energy, all they do is come in and experience it for 2 hours, for
Or
a num-
more.
2 hours or more, for a nominal fee, and then they can come as often as they would like after talking with you to set up a
Mhm.
program.
Mhm. Yeah, we've got subscriptions, we have packages and everything. And you bring a good point. Uh, what we're doing is we're going back to the way it used to be.
Yeah.
In other words, I have people coming in and say, I'm taking the herbs that my grandmother used to use for us. Like she used to give us.
Mhm.
You know, I was like, do you know the name of it? No, but it gets sent to me from my country. So it's we're going back where the new generation is learning everything the old generation knew. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like we are bundles of wisdom and knowledge. Now, not my mom was, my aunts and uncle, more so than me, let's say, but all of us with age, we're like, we have a little encyclopedias in us. We can
Yeah.
help,
Yeah.
been there, done that, and don't make the same mistakes I made, kind of thing.
Yeah. I think you're raising a very important point because we're now coming full circle. People are going all the way out to do things that uh, that are outside of the body and turning their health, their lives over to those individuals, and they're good that are outside of the body. Whereas now with the EE system, what you're doing is you're getting back in alignment with source, God, whatever name you would like to call that energy, and just getting quiet, meditating, and then just relaxing and letting go of all of these things that are negatively affecting you, your body, your soul, your mind. And I think it's really, really good. It's really good. And so
Yeah.
for those people who are skeptics, I love skeptics, when people say, well, how do you know that this works? Because I can't see it working. And I tell people, I ask people, do you have a belief system? Yes. Do you believe in Jehovah, Yahweh, God, Oladamari? Yes. You can't see that being either, but you know
Exactly.
that it works. You can't see air, but without it, you would not be here. You would transition, you would die. So to get so linear in our thinking, and that's what this culture does, it makes people very linear so they can keep depending on things that are outside of their bodies as opposed to knowing that the body is equipped when we give it the right circumstances to heal. So I think that what you're doing is really, really amazing. And what are
Thank you.
your hours? What are your hours?
My center, specifically in Atlanta, we're open from 10 till 10 in the morning till 9 at night. We are by appointment only. Uh, and my center is only closed Mondays and Thursdays. And those are the days that somebody else uses the space for non-E-system sessions. Um, yeah. And what you were just saying, it's the whole concept, and I just lost it. It just went bye bye. Where
Oh,
did you just
and we'll come back in terms of the hours of operation and
before that?
taking our power back, basically, is what I'm
That's it.
talking
That's
about.
it. And coming to EE system is not giving away your power. It's
Exactly.
enhancing your ability to tap into the intuition, to connect to source. And then once you get the toxins and everything else out and you're cleaned up, you could just visit every month, every 2 months, 3 months, whatever your guidance tells you. So I don't want anybody, because I don't believe in people relying on anything outside themselves either. But give yourself that reset so that you could
Mm-hmm.
clean off that chalkboard that has all the smudges on it of limiting beliefs and all kinds of childhood trauma stuff left over. Let's clean all that up and
Mm-hmm.
start afresh.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that this is an amazing system. I think it's come at the right time. We're in the age of Aquarius, which means that all the things that were hidden from us now are being exposed, even though they look really ugly and horrific. They were always there, and they're now coming up to the surface to be purged. You
Hmm.
cannot cure an illness by masking over the symptoms. And that's what a lot of people do. When you take a lot of medications, you're just masking, you're not really dealing with the issue at the root. And this system is dealing with everything energetically at the root. It's not intrusive. You're not having to draw blood or any of that. You don't have to take pills, any of that. It's strictly energy and dealing with the energetic field in the environment, and you are part of that environment. So therefore, you definitely are going to be, your life will be enhanced because it's amping up the energy and you're around you and in the environment. So when you walk into it, you become completely immersed with that. And I think that's really, really wonderful.
But it's literally also like amping up the voltage in your cells. Like
Yeah.
each cell is supposed to have a certain voltage. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
measured in millivolts. I mean, I don't have anything to hook up to see where your cell is at, but like if you have something that they're telling you there's no hope and go take care of your arrangements, your voltage is probably around 10 or 15, whereas optimal health is like 70 to 90. You come in there, your cells will know automatically. It's kind of like the body is like plugging itself into a charger, and it starts charging up the cells of the body, literally. That's what's so cool about it. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And what are some of the things that you would like to leave with our audience?
Mhm. The biggest, I think, message is take ownership. Take ownership of your life. I lived life by default for the longest time. Whatever came, I dealt with it. I didn't know or think there was anything I could do about it, like that I had any control over it.
Mm-hmm.
But we can and do co-create our lives.
Yes.
And, so living your life by design instead of by default. I mean, wouldn't you want that? So, check out an EESystem center. And even if not, look into the whole concept of how you could co-create your life. Um, and you got this. You matter. And you're creating ripples. Ripples. Now, do you want to be part of the problem or do you want to be part of the solution? So that's what I really want to impress upon everybody. If everybody could just clean up their side of the sidewalk, then
Mm-hmm.
we could have a clean neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? So we're here to try to help everybody, encourage everybody to clean up their side of the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm. That's an excellent metaphor, because if people address what's going on within them internally, and everyone did that, then it would just ripple out, spread out. And Gaia, which is another name for Mother Earth, would be a lot lighter and a lot happier. Because that's a living being too. The Earth is a living being. So, Linda, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you. My pleasure too.
Yeah, we thank you so very, very much. And everyone, please get in touch with Linda. Linda, give them your contact information on your landing page again, please.
Okay, the landing page is EE System. So that's E like energy, E like energy, system, SYSTEM, Atlanta, ATLANTA .org, / podcast, PODCAST,
Wonderful.
EESystemAtlanta.org / podcast. And
Wonderful.
well, description too, right? So
I'm sorry.
we'll probably have it in the description
Oh,
also,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and the
Yep.
other thing too is that once you go to Linda's wonderful system, let her know that you heard about it through Gray Lives on the Rise.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Yes. Good point. I'm giving a $50 discount, but you specifically mention and put it in the referral portion, like, how did you hear about us? Put podcast, Professor Franklin or Gray Life, and you'll also get some detox supplies. Don't
Oh,
get complimentary unless you put it in there.
oh
Yeah.
wow. See all the perks, family, that you get by listening and referring people. So take your friends, your family members, your co-workers, your church members, colleagues, whatever. Take them down to experience this. This will be an excellent solar return / birthday gift,
Hmm.
a graduation gift, a wedding gift, any type of gift, because we're so used to giving things that are material things. This is
Hmm.
life enhancing. So let's start thinking about giving our loved ones something that's not traditional in terms of clothing and whatever that they will outgrow. This will enhance their lives. Those other things won't do anything. They will bring pleasure for a moment, but they will not enhance your life. So give the gift that keeps on giving.
That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah. Yeah,
Give the
this
gift
will.
that keeps on giving. Yeah. So get in touch with Linda very, very, very soon. Mention Gray Lives on the Rise, Professor Jamila Franklin, or my name, or Gray Lives on the Rise, if you can't remember all of that, to get your discount and to have this wonderful experience. So thank you so much again, Linda. We appreciate you.
You, Professor.
It
Thank
has been,
you.
it has been our pleasure. And for the rest of you, thank you again. Remember, go to our website and order t-shirts. Linda has her t-shirts. Just go on to Great Lives on Rise. Yeah. And tell others about it. We are parked here every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and whatever that is in your time zone or in your country. And we are recorded, so you will always be able to get us on Spotify audio, Spotify video, LinkedIn, Facebook, and our own Great Lives on the Rise YouTube channel. When you go to our channel, please click like and subscribe so you will never ever miss an episode. And our website is Oyinde Enterprises, Oyinde Enterprises, ENTERPRISES.com. Until next time, let's be safe. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Great Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Scents, which is the product line of Oyinde Enterprises. Jamila Scents is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Great Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.